is Joshua from J Technology Solutions, and I'm going to be showing you a demo of our JT Point of Sales software that helps you manage your business. If you are into services oriented business, then this is the right software to help manage your business. If you have a laundry, gas station, a filling station, you have a salon, you are a tailor, restaurant owner, a computer business center, etc., then this is the right software to help manage your business. Haven't registered our product correctly, it is time to make sales. And for us to make sales, we have to come over to this tab, transaction. If I open this tab, you can see sales, collect job, and expenses. So we're going to start off with sales. Now this is a dashboard of a sales interface, and over here you have sales summary. And the function of the sales summary, it shows you sales today. As you can see, it's 00 naira because we haven't made any sales. No money has been paid. Balance, there is no balance from sales from today. You have today's summary, and what today's summary does, it shows you today's sales, expenses today, and shows you your net profit by subtracting expenses from sales today. Then jobs, delivered orders, we have not delivered any orders. Pending orders, we don't have any pending orders. If you have jobs you have not delivered, it's going to show you the number of jobs here. Pending orders, we don't have pending orders. You're going to see how this works as we start making sales. Registered customers, over here we have 4 customers registered, the 2 we have and the 2 we registered. Then paid today, no one has deposited any money. Credit paid, no one has paid for their credit own. Now let's initiate the process of making sales. To make sales, I need to enter customer's name or customer's account number. In a situation where I can't remember the customer's name or number, I can just hit on search customers, and it's going to bring out all the list of customers registered. As you can see, we have our working customer whose account number is JT1. His phone number is here, and you can see that his balance is 0. So he doesn't have any money on deposit. His account balance is 0. What is going to happen here? Let's assume this customer has extra money saved. It is going to appear here, which he can use for his transaction. Or if this customer is owing us, you're going to see that his balance is on a minus scale. Then you have that of John Dow with an account number of JT2, and this is phone number, and this is his account numbers. So let's assume it's a working customer that is patronizing. So I'm going to paste in this working customer's account number and hit on search. So we are now left with only the account of our working customer. Now let's assume this customer is patronizing our laundry business, or let's assume he's patronizing our laundry business. So I'm going to enter date entered is going to be today's date. Let's assume for this transaction, I will be assuming that the service we're arranging is taking it today. So if he's taking the service today, so in a situation where the service is rendered immediately or on same date, the date entered is going to be today's date, and delivery date also is going to be today's date. So what it implies is we are delivering this job today, and what this customer is going for, we're going to come to our list so you can see all the product that we registered is now reflecting here. Let's assume this customer is going for shirt washing. I'm going to select shirt, that's washing alone of this shirt. I'll add it to cart. As you can see, it has automatically generated the unit price and the total price. This customer is bringing shirts. Let's assume it's 2 shirts, giving us 2 shirts that I want us to wash. I'm going to select that, and you can see automatically the total is updating itself. Then let's assume also it's giving us shirts to wash and iron. For this set of shirts, we are washing and we're ironing them. I'll add that, and let's assume this also is 3. Then if it's gas, let's assume he wants to buy gas. We can add gas to what he's buying and add to cart. How many kg is he buying? Let's assume he's buying 12 kg. Let's assume he's buying 12 kg. So you can see that the price for 12 kg is 18,000. So these are all the things that this customer wants to buy, and we are delivering all this today. So we're going to come over to mode of payment. So what is a mode of payment? Is it using POS? We have POS, transfer, cash, or check, or not paid. If the customer is not paying for the transaction yet, you can use not paid. But since this is a walk-in customer, since we are making sales for a walk-in customer, you can sell credit for a walk-in customer, so he has to pay fully, either using POS, transfer, or cash. Are we giving these customers discount? If we are giving discount, you're going to see that it is going to reflect on the sales. So the total amount of money this customer is to pay is 22,400. If we give this customer a discount of 5%, you will see it's going to subtract that from the total amount this customer is going to be paying. So this is an automated system. Once you enter the discount, if it is 10% discount, it's going to subtract that from the money the customer is paying. But now we're not giving this customer any discount, so we're going back to the default price, which is 22,400. So this customer is paying in cash. He's paying the 22,400 in cash. 22,400 in cash. So he doesn't have any balance. Now you can see that this working customer, there is no balance. But let's assume this customer is paying. Let's assume he's paying a lesser amount. So you're going to see that it's going to calculate that this customer is to balance 20,160. And as you reduce it, the balance is going to increase. If it is 22,000 this customer is paying, you will see that he will have a balance of 400 to pay that is going to be tied to his account for subsequent transaction. But since this is the first transaction, we're going to pay in full. So this customer, since he's a working customer, he has to pay in full. And once he has done this, and you are sure that everything here is correct, that the shirts are 2 for washing, shirt washing and ironing is 3, gas kg is 12 kg, and all this has been confirmed, you can go ahead and generate receipt. So here's the receipt that has been generated. You can see that JT Services is now appearing. This can be the name of your business, your address. Then you can see that an invoice number of 01 has been generated for this transaction. You can see the name of the customer, working customer, account number is showing here, date ordered is today, delivery date is today, and these are all the items that are being purchased by this customer. You can see the total amount is 22,400. Customer balance, he has a balance of 0. Discount, there was no discount. Amount paid, he's paying the 22,400 in full. Remaining balance, there's no remaining balance. So mode of payment here is POS. Now you can now see generated by admin access, that is my account. So whoever is making this transaction is going to add it that this it is admin access that's made in this transaction. So once we hit on the save button, it is going to generate a receipt for this transaction. So you can see that the name of the company is going to appear here, the address, the phone number, the invoice number of this transaction. The customer is a working customer, and his account is JT1. Date ordered, delivery date. You can see all those things that was created. The total price paid. There's no balance for this transaction. You can now go ahead and print for this customer. Now, once you hit on print, it is going to generate the receipt for print. You can save this as a PDF that can be transferred to the customer, or you can set up your printer, your thermal printer. So I'm going to be using SB8OC printer for this transaction. So let's assume I want to print this using a thermal printer for my customer. I'm going to select this printer, and automatically it's going to put it on the thermal printer. So I've selected the thermal printer. It's just for me to come here and do the settings. So this is a receipt on this is how the receipt is going to appear on a thermal printer. If you have a thermal printer connected to your system, it's just for you to click on print, and it's going to print this receipt for this customer. You can see that all the details, they are here. So this is just the sample of the receipt. So I'm going to cancel this and go back to make another sales. When we come now to our dashboard, you can see that sales today is now 22,400. Amount paid is 22,400. There is no balance. When you come to sales today, you can see that it's 22,400. Since we have not made any expense, we have a net profit of 22,400. So you, as the owner of this business, you should be expecting for today's sales 22,400. If it's not up to 22,400, then you now have to go find out what actually happened that you're not getting this amount. This is the amount that is expected for you to get at the end of, if sales is ending today, you should be having 22,400. Then under jobs, you can see delivered orders. One has been delivered, since that the date of that job is today and the delivery date is today. So you can see that it has been delivered. Pending orders, there are no pending orders. Then paid today, you have 22,400 paid. Now we're going to be making another sales, and for this sales I'll be using JT customer. I'm going to search him out, and here we have this customer, which is John Dow. So I'll be making sales for John Dow, and for John Dow's sales, I'm going to select today as date entered. Then delivery date can be maybe on the 19th. Then what are the services John Dow is getting? What are the services we're rendering? Maybe he brought in shirts. I'm going to add this to cart. How many shirts? Maybe 4. Then we're going to add another one, or I can delete this. I can delete this cart and restart again. I can select maybe shirt washing and ironing, and John Dow is doing washing and ironing for 5 shirts. You can see that the price now has gone to 5,000 for this 5 shirts. Let's assume also he has a shirt that he only needs to iron, and these shirts are 2 in number. Then he's paying with POS, or using POS for this. There's no discount, so the total amount is 6,000. Now let's assume, since John Dow is a registered customer, and if your business allowed half or part payment, John Dow can make a part payment. Let's assume, since this is 6,000 and it's going to be collecting this order on the 19th, so we can, maybe he's depositing let's say 5,000, or let's say 4,000. He has 4,000 to deposit. You can now see that he has a balance of 2,000 to pay. And if we go ahead and generate this receipt, so what is happening here, from the services John Dow is purchasing, the total amount is 6,000, but he is depositing 4,000, so he has a balance of 2,000 to pay. So we can generate this receipt here. I'll go and save. Then you can go ahead and print this receipt for him. And if we go ahead and look at this receipt, allow the preview. So this is a receipt for John Dow. You can see that the invoice is 03. The customer's name is John Dow. His account number is JT2. The date ordered is this date. Delivery date is this date. And these are the services these are the services purchased: shirt, washing and ironing 5 at the rate of 1,000, 5,000 total. Shirt ironing 2 at the rate of 500. You have it at 1,000. You can now see that the total amount he ought to have paid is 6,000, but he has paid 2,000 to balance 2,000. And the payment mode was POS. This receipt was generated by admin. So you can go ahead and print this receipt for John Dow, which he may bring on the 19th when he's coming to take his product. So this can be his copy. This can be the copy that can be dished out to John Dow. So you can go ahead and print this. Once this is connected to your printer, be it a Tama printer or big printer, is going to print. So we can cancel this, and let's go back to our sales page. So if we go back to the sales page, you can now see what is happening here. Now, if you look at the sales for today, you can see that the sales for today, we have made a sale of 28,400, but amount that was paid is 26,400. So we have a balance of 2,000 to be paid. So you can now see that for today there is a credit sales of 2,000 that needs to be paid. Then if you come over here, it is 28,400, so I should be getting 28,400. But the reason why my net profit is not 28,400, it is at 26,400, is because there is a balance of 2,000 to be paid. Then if you now come to jobs, you can see that today we have delivered one job. We have another job that is pending. Then you have paid total of 26,400. Now let's assume peradventure we are done with his job this same today and he's picking it up. I can select his name, his account number, John Dow. I'll search him out. Now this is John Dow. You can now see that his balance is reading a minus 2,000. So what this means is that he has an outstanding debt of 2,000 to pay. Let's assume he wants to clear off this debt and collect his work. You click on add deposit. So he wants to clear off this money is owing us. You can click on add deposit, and this form is going to come up. So he has a balance of 2,000 to pay. If I come here and fill in 2,000, let's assume he's paying 2,000, and it's giving us cash, and select that and hit on save. So automatically you can see that it's telling you that deposit is successful. Okay, then you can now see that our transaction for today is balanced. Balance has returned to 0. Amount paid is 26,400. Sales today is 28,400. Amount paid is 26,400, and there is no outstanding balance. You can now see that we are now having a correct net profit. Then if you come over here, the reason why we're having this is because there has been a credit paid of 2,000. So if you select the account of John Dow, you will discover that his debt has been cleared. So you can now see that his balance has now returned to 0 because he has paid for his debt. So he can now come maybe tomorrow or whenever his job is ready and take it without paying anymore, because this is going to show that for that job it has been paid. And when we get over to job collection, we're going to see that the payment is no longer reflecting on that job which he paid. Then another thing we can do, again, let's assume he wants to add again to his deposit for subsequent jobs. We're going to click on add deposit, and let's assume he's adding 5,000. Let's assume he's paying 5,000 into his account and he's doing transfer. So he wants to pay 5,000, and if we hit save, you see that deposit successful. So 5,000 automatically will be added, credited 5 account of John Dow. If you come here, you can see that credit paid is 7,000. So that's telling you that there's an outstanding money. When you look at your balance here, you can see that credit paid for today is 7,000. If we select that account of John Dow and search, you'll discover that 5,000 has been added to his money. So John Dow has 5,000 in his account, which he can use to purchase any service. Now let's take an example. So as you can see, John Dow has 5,000 balance. So from his 5,000, let's make a transaction so you see what happens. So I will just pick his account details, paste it here, then select. Then now we can make a transaction. So this transaction, I'll select today's date, and it's taking this on the 20th of February. So let's assume it's one shirt that he's washing. Or let's delete this. I'm going to select washing and ironing of shirts. Then I'll add this to cart. Let's assume it's 2. It has 2 pieces here. Then we're using POS. You can use any of this mode of payment, not yet paid, whichever mode can be used. You can now see that his balance is 3,000. We still have 3,000 to balance, and 2,000 has been taken from his money. If we go ahead and generate this receipt, you can see that he has a balance of 3,000 with us. 2,000 has been subtracted from his balance, and if I do save, we can print a receipt for him that he can use to come claim his job on the 20th of February. This transaction took place on the 17th of February 2025, and is to collect this job on the 20th of February 2025. So you can print a receipt for him or generate a PDF that can be forwarded to him. Then let's go back. Now if you see, you can now see that there's a balance of minus 3,000. So we have a balance of minus 3,000. So what this means is we are owing our customer, we're owing John Dow 3,000. Then if you now select his account, JT2, you will discover that his new balance will now be 3,000. So you can see that his new balance is 3,000. So that is how those sales work. Then let's go to the next. Now the next section is a collect job. Now under the collect job, you can see we can search using invoice or account number. So for that of John Dow, let's use his account number to search all the job he has with us. So if we enter JT2, we can search. We can have a custom search. We can search all the jobs from whichever date to current date. Let's assume we want to search all his jobs on the 1st of February till today's date, 17th of February. If we hit search, all the jobs he has with us is going to be called out. So far so well. He has 2 jobs that he has done, and from here you can see that these 2 jobs, they are pending. He's yet to collect any of them. Then he has the first job with invoice number 03, and the second job of invoice number 5, and the total of his first job was 6,000, and the second is 2,000, and these 2 jobs are pending. Now there are 3 actions you can take. You can view this transaction, you can print this transaction, or you can delete. So let's assume there was a mistake from a user. They have to call the admin. So the admin from this end can delete wrong or reverse transaction. Let's assume that there's any need to delete a transaction. An admin can do that here. Or you can view. What this view does, you can see all the details of this transaction. So I'm going to use the view here. Let's use view. So you can see that it's going to generate the full list of information on this transaction. So you can see that the name is John Dow, the account number is JT2, this is the invoice number, date ordered, this is the delivery date. The delivery date is on the 19th. Then the content of that transaction is shirts, washing and ironing 5 pieces, shirt ironing 2 pieces. You can now see the total amount of this transaction. Customer balance as at this transaction, it doesn't have any balance. There was no discount. Amount paid was 4,000. Remaining balance, there's no remaining balance. Mode of payment was POS. Now if you look, it has a total amount. The total amount of this transaction was 6,000, but he paid 4,000, having a remaining balance of 2,000. But from the money he paid, remember that he paid in 5,000. So the 2,000 that was outstanding has been deducted from the 5,000 he paid, and that is why you are saying that this place is the remaining balance is 0. Why? Because the balance has been subtracted from the money he deposited. So you can print this out as your copy to explain properly, or you can see what happened. This is how you can view all transaction. You can see that this customer had a remaining balance of 2,000, then he deposited 5,000 on the same date. You can see the date. The mode of payment was transfer. He transferred 5,000 into his account, and the status of this account of this transaction is still pending. And the person that collected this money was admin. So whoever initiated the deposit transaction, his username is going to reflect here. So admin did that. If it was a user, if it was user 1 that did this, it's going to show user 1. You can print this, or you can just close. Then another thing we can still do, let me bring out his details again. J2, using his account number. I'm going to search again from on the 1st to on the 17th and hit on search. So let's assume this transaction he wants to collect. He has come to collect his he has come to pick up his job. You can now go to print. If you click on print, the receipt for his transaction for printing his final receipt is going to be generated. So you can see that before printing out for a customer, you should have confirmed that he has no remaining balance. So this is where you have to check for remaining balance is 0 naira, so he's not owing. If he's owing, you can ask him to pay for what he's owing, but since he's no longer owing, he has paid. He has paid. You can just go ahead and generate his receipt. So you can leave any message, maybe complain that something was wrong with his job, it was not well pressed. So whoever is there can just put note job, the job was okay. Let's assume this was its remark, the job was okay, so the status is delivered. So at this point in time, you have to confirm that his balance is 0 naira. So this is where whoever is giving the final receipt for a delivered job, you have to cross check that remaining balance is showing 0. And once you've done that, you can now go ahead and save this. Once you do this, the final receipt is going to be generated. So you can now see that the status of this job is now delivered. You can go ahead and print his receipt. So these are final receipts for a job that is done. So previous loading. So this is how the final receipt looks like. It is called delivery receipt. So you are now delivering this job. You can see that everything here is okay. It doesn't have any balance, so you can take his job, and that's that for this. Then let's close this. Let's come over. Let's go back. So if I come again to search via account number, if I hit on search JT2 account number, can select date from 1st of February to on the 17th of February. If I hit on search, now you can now see that the status of this job is showing delivered. That means he has collected this job. He only has one job pending. If you now come and view, you'll discover that you will still see the invoice of that transaction, but now you can see that the status have changed to delivered, and you can see the footnotes here. So this is where you can view the footnote of every transaction. The job was okay. So whatever the customer is saying can be captured here, or whatever info concerning this invoice can be added here. So you can now see that it is showing over here. So I'm going to close this. So that is what you do under collect jobs. So let's go to the next tab. That is the expenses tab. So here is the expenses tab, where all expenses in your business are entered. So these are the ones we've entered before. So let's enter a new expenses. I'm going to click on add new. Then expense date is going to be today, whichever date. Expense type, let's say we are paying for electricity. Let's say we're paying for electricity. We are paying to maybe let's say NEPA, whichever body, expense amount. How much are we paying? Let's say we're paying the sum of 6,000. Amounts paid by, is it cash we gave them, POS, transfer, or check? Let's assume it was transfer. If it was check, you have to enter the check number and the check date. So we can put this paid through micro. Then we can save this. So you can see that the expense has been captured on this date. Paid to NEPA for electricity bill, the amount was 6,000 and it was via transfer. If you now come over to our sales, you will now see that it has now been captured under expenses. So since we've made an expenses of 6,000, it will now be subtracted from our sales for today. So you now have a net profit of 24,400 because the 6,000 has been deducted from the amount. So this is just a quick view of what can be obtained, what can be achieved. This is just a quick view of what can be achieved under the transaction tab.
Thank you very much for watching this video. Do well to like our page on Facebook and share this video. If you're watching on YouTube, then do well to hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell in order for you to get a notification when we upload new videos. Thank you very much.